Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Hare Nama Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to ISKCON Sheshadripuram daily Bhagavatam class. And today's verses, 3rd canto, 33rd chapter and 7th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. As I mentioned, today's sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 33rd chapter and 7th verse. 3rd canto, status quo. chapter 33 and 7th sloka. अहो बत स्वपचतो अतो गरियान अहो बत स्वपचो अतो गरियान अहो बत स्वपचो अतो गरियान यज्जीवाग्रे वर्तते नाम नम नाम तुभ्यम् यज्जीवाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम् यज्जीवाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम् तेपस्तपस्ते जुहु सश्नुरार्य तेपस्तपस्ते जुहु सश्नुरार्य तेपस्तपस्ते जुहु सश्नुरार्य ब्रह्मणाचूर्नाम गृह्णन्ति यते ब्रह्मणाचु ब्रह्मणाचूर्नाम नाम गृह्णन्ति यते ब्रह्मणाचूर्नाम गृह्णन्ति येते अहोबत स्वपचोत गरियं यज्जीवाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यं तेपस्तपस्ते जुहुसस्नुरार्य ब्रह्मणोचूर्णमग् ग्रन्थीयते. Synonyms, word to word translation. Ohbata. Oh, how glorious. Swapachaha, a dog eater. Ataha, hence. Garyan, worshipable. Yet, of whom. Jiva, great. On the tip of the tongue. Vartate, is. Nama, the holy name. Tubhyam, unto you. Tepuhu tapaha, practiced austerities. They, you who executed fire sacrifices. Sasnuhu took bath in the sacred rivers. Arya, the Vedas. Nama, the holy name. Grananti, accept. Ye, they who, they, your translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name, even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. Purport. As it is stated in the previous verse, a person who has once offenselessly chanted the holy name of God becomes immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. One should not be astonished by this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. One should not disbelieve or think, how by chanting the holy name of the Lord can one become a holy man to be compared to the most elevated Brahmana. To eradicate such doubts in the minds of unbelievers, this verse affirms that the stage of chanting the holy name of the Lord is not sudden, but that the chanters have already performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and sacrifices. It is not very astounding, for no one in this life can chant the holy name of the Lord unless he has passed all lower stages, such as performing the Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, studying the Vedas, and practicing good behavior like that of the Aryans. All this must first have been done, just as a student in a law class is to be understood to have already graduated from general education. Anyone who is engaged in the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare must have already passed all lowers with the tip of the tongue are glorious. One does not even have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, namely the offensive stage, offenseless stage, and pure stage. If the holy name is sounded on the tip of the tongue, that is also sufficient. It is said herein that Nama, a singular number, one name Krishna or Rama is sufficient. It is not that one has to chant all the holy names of the Lord. The holy names of the Lord are innumerable, and one does not have to chant all the names to provide that he has already undergone all the process of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. If one chants once only, it is to be understood that has already passed all the examination, not to speak of those who are always 24 hours a day to you only. One must chant God's name not as the Mayavadi philosopher says. Any name such as demigod's name or the names of God's energies, only the holy name of the Supreme Lord will be effective. Anyone who compares the holy name of the Supreme Lord to the names of the demigods is called Pashandi or an offender. Next couple of paragraphs are there. The holy name has to be chanted to please the Supreme Lord, cannot, sorry, Supreme Lord, and not for any sense gratification or professional purpose. In in this pure mentality is there. If this pure mentality is there, then even though a person is born in a low family such as a dog eaters, he is so glorious that not only has he purified himself, but he is quite competent to deliver others. He is competent to speak on the importance of the transcendental name, just as Thakura Haridasa did. He was apparently born in a family of Mohammedans, but because he was chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord offenselessly, Lord Chaitanya empowered him to become the authority or Acharya of spreading the name. It did not matter that he was born in a family which was not following the Vedic rules and regulations. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Prabhu accepted him as an authority because he was offenselessly chanting the name of the Lord. Authorities like Advaita Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya immediately accepted that he had already performed all kinds of austerities, studied the Vedas, and performed all sacrifices. That is automatically understood. There is a hierarchy class of Brahmanas called Smarta Brahmanas, however, who are of the opinion that even the Lord are accepted as purified. They still have to be in a family of Brahmanas so that they can perform the Vedic rituals. But actually, that is not the case. Such a man does not need to wait for the next birth to become purified. He is at once purified. It is understood that he has already performed all sorts of rites. It is the so called Brahmanas who actually have to undergo different kinds of austerities before reaching that point of purification. There are many other Vedic performances which are not described here. All such Vedic rituals have been already performed by the chanters of the holy name. The Juhu means that the chanters of the holy name have already performed all kinds of sacrifices. Sashnuhu means that they have already traveled to all the holy places of pilgrimage and taken part in purificatory activities at those places. They are called Arya because they have already finished all the requirements, and therefore they must be among the Aryans or those who have qualified themselves to become Aryans. Aryan refers to those who are civilized, whose manners are regulated according to the Vedic rituals. Any devotee who is chanting the holy name of the Lord is the best kind of Aryan. Unless one studies the Vedas, one cannot become an Aryan but it is automatically understood that the chanters have already studied all the Vedic literature. The specific word used here is anuchuhu, which means that because they have already completed all those recommended acts, they have become qualified to be spiritual master. The very word grananti, which is used in this verse, means to be already established in the perfectional stage of ritualistic performances. If one is seated on the bench of a high court and is giving judgment on cases, it means that he has already passed all legal exams and is better than those who are engaged in the study of law or those expecting to study law in the future. In a similar way, persons who are chanting the holy name are transcendental to those who are factually performing the Vedic rituals and those who expect to be qualified within the bracket. Or, in other words, those who are born in families of Brahmanas but have not yet undergone the reformatory processes and who therefore expect to study the Vedic rituals and perform the sacrifices in the future. There are many Vedic statements in different places saying that anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord becomes immediately freed from conditional life, and that anyone who hears the holy name of the Lord, even though born in a family of dog eaters, also becomes liberated from the clutches of material entanglement. So it's a long purport. Here it ends. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगना रघुनाथं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्य श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् शरणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी काञ्च कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो वं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री जय कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण once again. So as we discussed, and third canto. So let us today's session for another 30 to 40 minutes. We are going to discuss about the which canto we are in, which chapter we are in, and which verse we are in, and the connectivity, and then we will get into the detail of today's verse. So the third canto's name is status quo. That means I'll elaborated that primary and secondary creation and annihilation. And in the third canto, we are going to discuss more about um, like government passed some amendment, and now the government is coming and checking with the prajas whether everything in place or not. So that is the understanding of today's canto. And then today's chapter name is activities of Lord Kapila. So it's a conversation between Lord Kapila and Mother Devahuti. And this is the last chapter. So where what Mother Devahuti attains, and how the Lord, uh, you know, finishes the purpose of this particular his incarnation, and where this is what the summary of this particular chapter. And the connection between previous chapter and this chapter is Kapila gives his final instruction to Devahuti. So it's a conversation, big conversation between son and a mother, or a guru and disciple, like that we can understand. And then and to Mother Devahuti, and then leaves to Ganga Sagara, so where the Lord took the abode. And Devahuti follows those instructions and perfects her life. This line is very important, because Devahuti follows those instructions and perfects her life. So here, with this line, we will also have a take-home message. So at the end, I will connect with this point, and then this particular chapter could be, divided into different sections. The first section, or the first set of 8 verses, deals with uh, Devavuti's prayers. So that means Lord enlightened Mother Devahuti in the path of bhakti. She attains prema. So what she achieves in the future slokas, what is the take-home message for this? As I mentioned, Devahuti follows those instructions and perfects her life. So what is that perfection, and how she reaches that prema, or what are the different stages to reach that prema, that we will discuss as an introduction. And then the other slokas connection is, as we know that first 8 slokas are her prayers, Mother, Devuti's prayers to Lord Kapila. So the first, second to fourth sloka, uh, how can, what we have discussed there, how did you appear in my womb? So that is a, so I am so fallen. This is a devotee's mood, she exhibits here. I am so fallen, oh my dear Lord, how you are so merciful to appear in my womb. So that is a realization after hearing all these 32 chapters from Lord Kapila. And then fifth verse, purpose of Kapila's appearance. Right? So this fifth verse is very important. So what is the purpose? See, we know whenever Lord descends for annihilate the annihilate the dushkrutas and to protect the devotees. But here it is mentioned to destroy sin. Yes, to annihilate the sin, to make your followers prosperous. Right? It's very much important to take every preacher and every follower. I'm repeating the fifth verse, to destroy sin, to make your followers prosperous, and to teach the path of jnana and bhakti. Like how Krishna gave bhakti and jnana, but here jnana and then bhakti. Bhagavad Gita we know, so it is being given karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. Here directly jnana yoga, and then perform bhakti. Lord gives in this order. So if you would have gone through this all 32 chapters, then we can understand this. And then anyone who comes in touch with the Lord becomes glorious. So the theme of sixth and seventh sloka. So that we are discussing seventh sloka. Why we have to discuss both, sixth and seventh? Because our purport itself started with what? According to previous verse, Prabhupada, starts his narration. Anyone who comes in touch with the Lord becomes pavitram. Pavitra means anything is, if you put anything into the fire, that contamination also will become contaminated item also will become pure. So like that, anyone who comes in touch with the Lord becomes glorious. This is our prayer. And then the sixth, because this verse, as I mentioned, connected with sixth verse explanation. In the sixth verse, what we have discussed, even a Chandala who chants the name, hears it, remembers the Lord, or offers obeisances, immediately becomes qualified to perform sacrifice. purifies us. This is what even a Chandala could be qualified. Under what condition? Chanting the name of the Lord. Now we will get into the Devahuti here. Anyone who comes and check end of this session, are we qualified or where we are, in the order. And here, in this verse, what we are going to understand, but here never purified himself through austerities. We cannot purify, through austerity, not necessarily. Scripture study or by taking holy baths. It's a question mark. Your holy name bestows all those benefit to that Chandala. So the connectivity between previous sloka and this sloka we could understand. So it is not that easy. So Bangalore, there are so many people, but only very few we all assembled here. Why? Because uh, this those who are get into this Krishna consciousness are those who chant regularly, even whatever the condition one chants, they are addressed here in the 10th sloka. That is not relevant to this sloka, but there is a take home from that. You will achieve prema by following this easy path of bhakti that I have taught to you. So why we are into Krishna consciousness? Why we are into following the path of Rupa Goswami, why we are in the path of our Guru, initiated devotees or Guru Maharaj, why we are associated with our Siksha Gurus, all these matters. We'll get into that. So before getting into today's verse, so as this 10th verse related to this take home message, because uh, she is glorifying the Lord. She's submitting her prayers to the Lord for what? Because you are given the knowledge of bhakti. So today I can get into the devotional service. So like that. So easily, uh, we can say, so I'm also a devotee, or so and so also a devotee like that. But uh, in the devotees also, there are, we know that basically there are three types of Uttam Adhikari. That means entry level, middle, and then topmost. So in that case, even perfect understanding is Prabhupada says in many other places, I may be imperfect, but what I'm speaking is perfect. So that is the mood of Prabhupada. 9 stages of bhakti. We all know that. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There are 9 stages of bhakti. But here, her prayer in the 10th sloka, it says that Prema, I can attain. Lord gives the final instruction to Mother Devhuti, right? Whatever the instruction being given to you, this jnana and then bhakti yoga, with that what you can attain the prema. We can also go through all these slokas of this, conversation between Mother Devhuti and Lord Kapila. Then also, we can also understand where we are actually. So what, among the 9th stage is called prema. So before that, there are 8 stages are there. So what is that? The first stage we all know, that is Shraddha. That means faith. One comes to temple and initially he or she looking to peeping into what these people are doing or what purpose of movement, etc. Then gradually one elevates to that particular level. So are we qualified? That is a big question mark again. The- Whether do you have that belief on the Lord, faith? So that is most important here. So directly, I'm giving the take-home message. Then we will get even the growth starting from Shraddha can also be read as a rectification of I and mine. That means, so the faith means what? Shraddha means what? I am understanding what is I and what is mine, because it is a false ego. So once if I understand that I am not this body, I am the soul, then I am qualified for of the bhakti. Shraddha. It is like juice. When you put it into the machine, automatically we will get the juice. So then the sugar cane is ready to become a juice. So we can also squeeze in that way. So juice is hidden inside the dry looking sugar cane. Shraddha, or the inclination to bhakti, is characteristics of each and every soul. So what is the subhava? You are serving the Lord, dasanu dasa. But I am not realizing that. So that is the reason I am taking the birth here. And then, which devotees distribute like rain clouds without considering whether the soil is fertile or unworthy, awakens us to question our temporary assessment of reality and interest to see everything in connection to Krishna. Is that reassessment? So I forget the Lord. I have taken a birth here. Now I have got a chance to recall, that forgetfulness of mine. That is the reason I have taken a birth here, and reassessment of reality and interest to see everything in connection to Sri Krishna is Shraddha or faith. So it's a detailed understanding about the faith on Lord. And then Sadhu Sangha. So the Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. So Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi ho. That important, that Sadhu Sangha. What we seek the company of devotees, Diksha Guru or Diksha Guru, that seed sprouts. And already we have discussed that example, that sugar cane in the faith. Begin to squeeze the juice and cook it down. In Sadhu Sangha, association with spiritually awakened souls, we are infused into bhakti sadhana, the practice of devotional service. So, by seeing the senior devotees, by seeing other devotees, only this process, the sugar cans one by one, it is getting squeezed. So, in what way it is getting squeezed? Bhakti sadhana. So, by doing that activities in a sadhu sangha, so we are doing, Janmashtami celebration, and then Bhakti Vriksha program, youth program, and then chanting, kirtan program, etc., etc. So when we do along with the sadhu, other devotees, then automatically this bhakti sadhana. And then third stage, so we can understand where we are. Third stage is called bhajana kriya. So here the bhajana kriya commit to removal of contamination accumulated over millions of lives. Accumulated. We are so conditioned soul. That is the reason we lack species. In out of the various addictions, anger, even that also. The result of impending rupture to the surface too. Some the selfish, all these things. Has he ever tried to clear the garden from requires constant and long-term work. So, carefully bring out. Similarly, the removal of unwanted items that hinder our spiritual development. So that is called, bhajana kriya, and then it leads to anartha nivriti. Hare Krishna. Right. So that is the next stage. So removing of all unwanted. So there is only a short jump from our offensive behavior as we are wrestling with our own deficiencies. We start to criticize devotees, inatten- chant inattentively, and neglect our service either intentionally or accidentally. So all these things comes under bhajana kriya. And then anartha nivritti. So as we connected from the previous point, anartha nivritti is only true artha or wealth. See, dharma artha, kama moksha. So we say that. So here the artha or wealth is Sri Krishna and devotional service. That is the real wealth. But we think that this materialistic wealth, right? That is not actually the purpose. So that is called anartha nivritti. So this artha is devotional service. This artha is Krishna. Then nishta. So we can we can conclude to have attained nishta, a stable level of Krishna consciousness, adventure of our past. So that is the stage, nishta. No longer are lazy about spiritual life, or when so I'm just fixed, right? So no more deviation. That is called nishta. And then ruchi. The next stage, sixth stage is ruchi, the attraction to do only things favorable to Sri Krishna. So the taste, the child asks, if it is tasty, the child asks, again and again, let me taste. You gulab jamun, then one more, like that. So then asakti. So this asakti, the mirror of the heart is so purified that we are able to see a glimpse of the object of our worship with eyes anointed with love. So asakti. So in the past, we did not notice when our mind shifted from subjects related to Sri Krishna to worldly matters. We could understand, how we are earlier and how we are now. This attachment is compared to a formation of a bud and predicts that soon the creeper of devotion will begin bloom. Right? This Bhakti Lata Bija. So that creeper automatically it starts growing. Asakti. Then Bhava. Bhava is also known as Rati. In comparison to it, any is rare. Sadhana Bhakti becomes Bhava Bhakti when Ruchi has melted heart. So this is a combination. So one should understand. I'm repeating. Sadhana Bhakti becomes Bhava Bhakti, our heart, and the different. And final stage is called, and also some more about the Bhava. Bhava is the first ray to cross the horizon as the self illuminating prema. Rises like the sun in our heart. So, Bhava is the stepping stone to reach prema. So this is prema is recognized by and that it rules even Sri Krishna, highest possible bliss. Even Krishna will, but that it rules even Sri Krishna. How Mother Yashoda, right? Once uh, One devotee asked Prabhupada, can you make me as a god? Prabhupada said, yes, I could make you even greater than God. Then this devotee got confused. So how come one person could become a god, and how could a person could Mother Yashoda and Damodar photo? You see the face of Krishna. Krishna is so scared, and Mother Yashoda is chasing Krishna. In that connection, Prabhupada gave, see, the prema is so powerful, so that even Sri Krishna, and it burns all the unwanted and all the stage. When we leave the present body, we will continue serving Sri Krishna as his eternal associate. Prema will continue to condense in accordance with our individual relationship with him. So, I don't want to get into that individual relationship. So let us start with, for every devotees in ISKCON could start a mood of a dasanu dasa, not like basanu bas. Okay. Now we will get into the purport of this verse. So here, uh, what is this, like that devotee can take Krishna Mahamantra? How could one even uttered a Hare Krishna Mahamantra even in a offensive stage also? Here, how by chanting the holy name of the Lord can one become a holy man to compare to the most elevated Brahmana? So it creates this doubt. The first paragraph, when we read the purport, it creates a doubt how the one who utters once Hare Krishna Mahamantra could be elevated devotee like this. Here, there is an answer for that. Chanters have already performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and sacrifices. It is not that easy to find someone who is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in Kali Yuga. The one who comes to that stage automatically, it should be understood that already that person is attained like that. It's like becoming a crorepati. I am also a lakpati. Why you have to think this become a holy man to be compared to the most elevated Brahman, or other ways? Already that person has Vedic sacrifices mentioned as lower stages. The next doubt are lower stages when compared to the one who is such as performing the Vedic rituals, practicing practicing good behavior. Small story. Then we will connect with this stages. How to understand this? So there is one devotee in Sri Rangam. That devotee who's doing seva very regularly in the temple, and everybody comments, he is an illiterate, so he cannot understand anything, any philosophies like others, etc. then what happened then what happened one day, he was sitting in a secluded place inside temple, and then holding the Bhagavad Gita. And by seeing, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu asked. Then this particular devotee, Brahmana, he was so, what to say, so bliss. How great the Lord is, taking the so menial service like driving the chariot. So those days, left indicator, right indicators like that. Those days, the one who drives or the one who travels in the chariot, he kicks with his left leg to take turn in the left side. Menial level Lord comes down and he serves to the devotees years like that. And also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so who said you are an illiterate? So you learned everything. You know the essence of this complete Bhagavad Gita. So don't worry like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. Even we all know the pastimes of Haridas Thakura, Namacharya Haridas Thakur. So the Guru Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and immediately they recognized him as a Namacharya. They were given initiation, they made him as a Namacharya. Though the person who is born in a sixth chapter, we have seen the Chandala, the dog eater family, even such a person could be elevated. And also here the comparatively it is mentioned that the smartha brahmana is by birth identity or something. So in that way also it is being mentioned. Don't worry about all these things. Maybe it is required for in the next birth to take the same rituals and reading vedas, all these things. But the comparison here it is given is, say for example, the person who is in bench of giving the judgment, the law, or the student of the student. There are two analogies given here. One is the one who gives the judgment. It is understood that he knows all other, or he knows all other inferior activities than this. Here in this verse, it is mentioned that these all are lower level or all lower stages. So, rituals. Prabhupada always mentioned by this ritual, if bhakti comes out, then take up that ritual. Ritual means, okay, only in Kali Yuga, those rituals are become only it is like namesake, or even some people go to the extent, last paragraph you have said, worshipping a demigod and then following so many rituals. So what they do, they do for material benefit. Our acharyas very strongly condemned all those activities. The one who chants, he crossed all this. That is the take home message. And one does not even have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, namely the offensive stage, offense like medicine, without knowing that purpose, but the disease will be cured. It is mentioned here a singular number, one name Krishna or Rama is sufficient. So that is the power. All the holy names. So there's somebody saying, no, you take this tablet, your fever will go away. So what is that fever here? The fever conditions also. So in that way, what is the solution? If one chant once only, it is to be understood that he has already passed all the examinations. Another analogy. So the one who joins in a law college, he cleared all other previous qualifications, etc. And here some of the words which is from this sloka being mentioned here. Tubhyam, unto you only. We all know Sarvadharman Parityajya. So are we doing that? The Supreme Lord to the names of the demigod is called partial D. It's only offender. They'll compare, Krishna also. Sometimes they compare themselves. Demigods another level. They compare, I myself God. God. We have to be careful. But he is quite competent to deliver others. Who? The one who chants perfectly, even though he or she is born in a Chandala. Here, as we discussed, Haridas Thakur and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Prabhu accepted him as an Lord. This is automatically understood. No, no, only the one who was born in so and so family. No, the one who chants Harinama even once. It is not that easy to come and connect with Krishna consciousness in this most fallen, age, Kali Yuga. There are many other Vedic performances which are not described here. So they have not gone deep in. All such Vedic rituals have been already performed by the chanters of the holy name. As I said, the Crorepati already a Lakpati. And then here two more words. One is Juhu and another one is Sasnuhi. Sasnuhi. Sasnuhi means they have already traveled to all the holy places and pilgrimages. And Juhi means that chanters of the holy name have already performed all kinds of sacrifice. One is all kinds of sacrifice, and another one is all kinds of pilgrimage visited. They are called Arya. Aryan refers to those who are civilized. Who all are civilized? No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit relation. But it is automatically understood that chanters have already studied all the Vedic literatures. And another word coined here, Anuchuhi. What is this Anuchuhi means? Which means that because they have already completed all those recommended acts and they have become qualified to be spiritual masters. That is the beauty. And another word mentioned is Grananthi, which is used in this verse, means to be already established in the perfectional stage of ritualistic performances. So that means the one who chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they reaches the perfectional stage, liberated from the clutches of material and the pure disciple or the topmost Lord Kapila. So Lord Kapila also concludes that follow this jnana what I have imparted, follow this bhakti what devotional service you could contribute. So these are the take home messages. A quick summary I would like to say here. So today we discussed about activities of Kapila in that Mother Devuti's prayers. In her prayer, anyone who comes in touch with Lord becomes glorious. So that is what this she glorifies. See, I am most fallen, but you have enlightened me with this jnana and bhakti. Now I am ready to reach that place. Like 10th verse, it is going to get connected. Prema bhakti. So the previously all this other 9 stages we have come across. Shraddha, faith. Excuse me. Shraddha, 9 stages of bhakti. Shraddha, faith, sadhu sangha, association with the devotees, bhajana kriya, performance of devotional service, anartha nivritti, decreasing of unwanted attachments, nishta, steadiness, there is no shake, there is no fall, regularly chanting, and then ruchi, taste, well, chanting, relishing the bliss. We sometimes in the month or depends on individual. So we service and then that attachment. We never leave Sakti. That is attachment. Then Bhava. Bhava expresses, to the child. So love, sharing some wordings, more romantic, just to prema. Pure love for Krishna with this, all this purport. Sorry, not purport, this translation. So if I miss any points, we could. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. So that is called Pavitram. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Even such a person, there is no birth identity. Persons who chant the holy name of your lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities, aristocratic, birth, etc., etc. Sattva guna, etc. They are even above that. And fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. Anything, civilized. Which is the civilized? See, even eating habit in the world, less than 10% or 8% only vegetarian. So the civilized person means which is the civilized taste, right? People does not understand even that to be chanting the holy name of your lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So it is mentioned everything is lower stage to the one who is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is not Krishna Mahamantra, as we mentioned, the 9 stages. So we all can understand where we are and where we are, wandering here, wandering here and there in this 9 stages. So here I'd like to stop here. So once again, thanks to all devotees for joining and thanks for all your patiently hearing. Hare Krishna. There are any one or two questions we can discuss. Otherwise, we can conclude the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandra Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam.
Prabhuji, like I've missed few classes, so I was just as we were sitting in the class, like Mother Devuti told Lord Kapila that how did he come in his womb, inner womb. So what was the answer of Lord Kapil Dev? Could you please let me know?
Okay. No, see that rather the technicality, we can understand the mood of, see, the actual technicality of answer is, so he promised earlier actually. So that is a previous chapter or something. So he promised that to the purpose of the Lord here I read whether you understood or not, I have not seen. See, we the devotees, right? To the devotees are not so cheap. Prabhupada many a times says that don't do anything with free of cost and also don't get into a professional reciter to make money. That is not our purpose, right? And also don't give anything with free of cost, right? That what is that qualification to hear Bhagavad Gita, right? What is that sloka? कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभाव प्रच्छामि तां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेतः ये श्रेयसा निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते हम स्वादिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. So that means the mood of a devotee is, I am my soul surrender unto you, O my dear Lord. So that is submissive. Pani Prishnena Sevaya. So Mother Devahuti come to that stage to inquire from the Lord. So Lord also accepted her as a, though she is a mother, he accepted as a disciple and he gives all this devotional service, this bhakti marga to her. And the straight answer to your question, Lord or not, I would like to repeat that what I have read. The fifth verse, the previous verse, and he promised. The actual technical detail is he promised that he will take a birth as a son of Mother Devahuti, and then what for he has come to destroy sin to make your followers prosperous. So that means the purpose of this particular incarnation is to bring up all the preachers or to bring up all the devotees to the moonlight and to teach the path of jnana and bhakti. So that is the purpose of him to come. And he committed that previously, right? So That is a technicality. In one line, if you ask me, he committed that I will take a birth and then I will enlighten or I will give these whatever just now I read, right? So once again I'll repeat, what is this? Make your followers prosperous, to teach the path of jnana and bhakti. So that is the purpose of the Lord to take. And her realization is, how did you appear in my womb? That is the mood of a devotee. No? She, that is Karpanya dosha, why I told. That is the mood of Mother Devuti here. How did you appear in my womb? And in future, I think the very next sloka, we are going to understand there are five elements, I think. So just I glanced it. So in the next sloka, we are going to know like the different purposes or what exactly it is mentioned. So he is going to tell that in the next sloka. So let me see that if possible, I will show that purpose you asked. No, so I am just connecting that. So the translation I am reading. I believe, my Lord, that you are Lord Vishnu. That means to recognize he is a Vishnu himself under the name of Kapila. Right? This is the first one. And you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, number two. And then Supreme Brahman, number three. The saints and sages being freed from all disturbances of the senses and mind meditate upon you, fourth one. For by your mercy only can one become free from the clutches of the three modes of material nature. Five. At the time only. So, Sarva Karana Karanam. So here the point is, Lord is everything. For that purpose, He descends. And that is what is His commitment also. So He appeared. So always Lord comes with the purpose. So here to enhance the, what I can say, pure devotees confidence level. So sometimes we may be so dull or senior whenever we are not able to stand properly. Then the senior devotees will give some patient. We watch Prabhupada videos. Personally, me, when hearing from uh, pure devotees, then that is amazing. Is the purpose of some particular activity. He has taken a birth become and Mother Devuti also did the quality like Arjuna. These eight shlokas, 1 to 8. Right now we discussed about 7 shlokas. You asked further detail, that is also I have added. Did I understand your question, Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Sandarpanam. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you. So Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna devotees.
Question,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhu.
One question.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, yes, Prabhu.
To those who are born in other community and chant Hare Krishna, they are Vaishnava.
Okay.
So why they are not
Yes.
allowed to take darshan to Jagannath Puri, Prabhuji?
Okay, so it's a good question. Prabhu, there are two things, like how we have two eyes, right?
Hmm.
So we should have that, importance of two eyes. One is a constitution, right? We say, in other Patanjali yoga process, Niyama, Yama, that, Ashtanga yoga process, like we know that, right? So there are some guidelines to attain some particular objective. So in India, in simple way, India we all drive in a left-hand side, right? And in US, so the idea is to drive, right? So when you connect with this Jagannath Puri, things, see, our constitution says, not only the temple, our constitution. Let us discuss about one eye. So our constitution says The one who was not born in the region of India could not get into could not get into this temple, and the one who was not born in the family of the Sanatana Dharma or the so-called Hinduism. I'm talking about constitution. I'm not talking about spirituality, right? They are not permitted to get into this temple. Not only in many temple, in every temple, that is the constitution of India. What I'm talking. If say suppose my name resembles or my physical appearance attire resembles the so-called non-Hindu. Okay, even in dictionary, I'm purely speaking about constitution. I'm not getting into spiritual answer to your question. And here, here what happened? Say for example, the two incidents I could share with you. Animals entered into Srirangam temple. Okay, for that, perform some yajna to vanish that sin or amangala. Like, and once uh, uh, Queen Elizabeth, I think, sorry, England Queen is there, no? Queen Elizabeth only, I think. And she came to Srirangam temple. See, her name is Elizabeth. For me, this deity of Ranganatha is a monument for her mood. And maybe she may be a devotee, I don't know. What I mean to say, the person who is getting into, see, say I'm putting a tag of some other company. I am getting into your company where you are working, claiming that I am also equal to you. No, for me it is a place of just to visit and go. People see my name is something else. Many celebrities getting into temple and then they will be writing in the register that I believe in Lord Venkateshwara. That means that I believe in Lord Venkateshwara. They get into the temple and then they comes out. So that is what our practice. That means I don't have belief like a monument. I go on like exhibition. I'll go and I'll see the historical things. In that mode, I don't have any business inside the temple. That person does not have any business inside the temple. So I am not telling. It is said in the Indian Constitution. That means article number 25 or something. I am not particular about that. It says that the non-Hindus could not get into the premises of Hindu temple, and the non Hindus cannot get into the Christian or any other religion. I'm talking purely about the constitution, right? When you speak about this, that is what this verse enlightens us. Now you can relate with the take-home message of today's verse. Even the person who was born in a Chandala family, the Malaysia or whatever you name it, the anarthas, those who commit. So in the world, if you look at strictly, the world vegetarian population is very, 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 very less. And then the four regulative principles we all know: no meat eating, gambling, intoxication, all these things. The one who actually, if you ask me, my personal interpretation, if you ask, these four, even many temples I have seen, only the vegetarians are allowed to get into these premises. In Tamil Nadu, is prominent places like other sampradaya like Vallalar follower. There are many other saints followers. These things are there. If we start identifying or putting too many rules and regulations like that in this Kali Yuga, almost everybody is like Jagai Madai only. So somewhere we need to put a barricades, right? To understand, to your point, elaborately, even to others, even for me also. So we need some point of conduct. Why in ISKCON, we say four regulative principles, minimum four regulative principles. One devotee, Western devotee asked, Prabhupada, still I have here and there, some imbalance in this maintaining the four regulative principle. Prabhupada said, minimum four regulative principle is must. So likewise, in the temple entry, the temple management has got all the rights from the Constitution of India also, as well as the Agama. There is another word is there in the according to the Vedic guidelines or administrative procedure. Agama means administrative procedure. So even in our ISKCON also, only the second initiated devotees can go to the altar and do the seva, right? Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
But
So all our devotees, they have their own, agama. That means administrative role, and they try to implement that only the Hindus can get into, and that means the foreign bodies could not get in, and the second one is this one, other religious persons not allowed. That is the constitution as well as in the agama. Even one more thing also I could share when. That is a mode of pure Vaishnava. But according to constitution, if I am an Indian, though I have born in a uh, Western body, if I am a Hindu, as per the constitution, if I am a follower of Bhagavad Gita, I am follower of anything associated with the expectation of that particular religion, then I should be allowed. But the devotees moved, okay, let me stand outside and let me pray to the Lord. That is also accepted because the devotee is so submissive that because of that agama they are not allowing me to give. But there are many chandalas going in and coming out, right? So for argument's sake, I'm talking on this. So the constitution is the one eye, and our agama. That means our Vedic instructions. Even in many places, we can understand when uh, Srirangam, Ramanujacharya, Sri Sampradaya. He went to Puri and he thought of changing, all the formalities of what agama or the procedure being followed there. Then Lord appeared in his dream and then he told, whatever the bhava, whatever the mood they are planning to do that, let them do that, right? So that is a mood of devotee for accepting those guidelines, and that is a mood of those devotees, those who are executing those guidelines. Both are accepted here. So that is the point I'd like to, just I'm not giving conclusion on this. Just I'm telling, like pros and cons like that. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, who take Diksha from Harinam and Brahman Diksha and born in previous birth in Sudra family, our other community otherwise Hindu family, they take tilak and uniform, Vaishnava uniform. They can allowed.
Okay, but still, I'm telling the mood of acceptance of mind, right? I'm speaking as a devotee, right? I'm trying to get into some, seva. Even forget about in other temple or other sampradaya. Let us take our own ISKCON. I'm trying to clarify to you. So you take our ISKCON only. You can approach. Everybody cannot do all the seva, right? Do you agree? Will you have a tolerance or acceptance level of this, Prabhu? Or you want I want to know from you, or you mean to say everybody should be allowed to get into all the seva, or what is your mood, your Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, Prabhuji. Very good lecture, Prabhuji. Very good, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Very good, Prabhuji. I am fully satisfied from your words, Prabhuji. Very nice, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। आज हम सुने बहुत हरि बोल, बहुत आनंद हुआ प्रभु जी।
All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Hare Krishna. So we'll end the session. So here, so by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.